This video is about Amaterasu descends to Isgran trying to save village until a demon awakens. If this myth excites you, please like the video, share it with friends, and write in the comments how it pulled you into the adventure. In the land of Yamato, where the sun kissed the mountains and rivers shimmered with the hue of celestial dreams, a village known as Kurozumi lay nestled within the embrace of ancient woods. Here, the villagers lived in harmony with nature, tending to their fields and honoring the gods who watched over them. Yet shadows loomed over Kurozumi as a sinister force stirred in the depths of the earth. For centuries, the villagers whispered tales of a demon named Dekokuten, imprisoned beneath the sacred Ice Grand Shrine. It was said that he feasted on the souls of the innocent, drawing strength from their fears and despair. The villagers often lit lanterns at dusk, hoping to ward off his dark presence, but as the harvest season waned, the air thickened with dread. One fateful night, as the moon hung low like a silver coin, an ominous tremor shook the ground. The once placid waters of the nearby lake churned violently, and the sky darkened as clouds swirled ominously. An ancient seal, forged by the gods, began to crack, the light of its binding spell flickering like a dying ember. In the celestial realm, the goddess Amaterasu, the radiant deity of the sun, sensed the disturbance. Her heart, pure and fierce, ached for the innocent souls threatened by the demon's awakening. With resolve burning in her chest, she donned her resplendent robes spun of sunlight and gold, her long hair flowing like rays of dawn. Summoned Tsukayomi, she commanded her divine gods, her voice echoing like the soft rustle of the wind through cherry blossoms. "We cannot allow this darkness to engulf Yamato." The moon god, Tsukayomi, emerged from the shadows, his expression grim. "Sister, Dekokuten's awakening is a harbinger of chaos. He seeks to plunge the realm into eternal night. If you descend, you risk drawing his wrath." "I know the risk," Amaterasu replied, her golden eyes fierce with determination. "But the villagers of Kurozumi will perish without my light. I shall not allow darkness to claim them." With a mighty surge of divine energy, Amaterasu soared down from the heavens, her form radiant against the night sky. As she descended, the air shimmered, and the villagers below felt warmth radiating from the heavens. They looked up, hope blossoming in their hearts as they recognized the goddess. In Kurozumi, the villagers gathered at the shrine, their eyes wide with awe and reverence. Elder Haru, the village chief, stepped forward. "Amaterasu, we beseech your guidance. The darkness stirs beneath us, and fear grips our hearts." The goddess landed gracefully, her presence illuminating the shadowed glade. "Fear not, my beloved children, I have come to protect you. Together, we will face the darkness that threatens your village." Her voice enveloped them, soothing and powerful, igniting a flicker of hope in the hearts of the villagers. Yet, as the villagers rejoiced, a tremor shook the ground once more, and the earth roared in anger. From the depths of the shrine, a chilling laughter echoed, a cacophony that rattled the very bones of the earth. The seal had broken, and from the shadows, Dekokuten emerged, a towering figure cloaked in darkness, his eyes burning like molten obsidian. "Foolish goddess," he growled, his voice a rumble of thunder. "You dare challenge me? Your light shall be extinguished, and this realm shall tremble beneath my fury." With a clash of thunder, Dekokuten unleashed a wave of dark energy, a tempest that swirled toward Amaterasu. With swift grace, she raised her hands, summoning a shield of light that pulsed with energy. The forces collided, sending shockwaves rippling through the air, and the villagers were thrown to the ground. Haru, clutching his staff, rallied the villagers. "Stand strong, we must not falter, the goddess fights for us." His voice rang out, igniting the embers of courage within their hearts. Amaterasu, her spirit unyielding, propelled herself toward the demon, her blazing light illuminating the darkness. She called upon the ancient powers of the sun, her very essence merging with the radiant energy that coursed through her. "By the light of the 10,000 stars, I will banish you back to the abyss, demon," she declared, sending forth beams of golden light that pierced through the shadows. The air crackled with energy as she unleashed her divine wrath upon Dekokuten. But as the light clashed with darkness, the demon smiled wickedly. "You think your light can defeat me? You are but a flicker against the storm." He retaliated with tendrils of shadow that writhed like serpents, striking at the goddess with a ferocity born of centuries of confinement. The villagers watched in horror, their hearts pounding as the clash of the divine unfolded before their eyes. They felt the weight of their destiny pressing upon them, a realization dawning that they could not rely solely on the goddess to save them. Haru raised his staff, his voice filled with fervor. "We will not abandon you, Amaterasu. Let us fight alongside you." The villagers, inspired by the chief's resolve, gathered their courage and lent their voices to an ancient chant summoning the blessings of their ancestors. With their voices rising in unison, the air shimmered and a protective aura surrounded Amaterasu. Empowered by the faith of her people, she surged forward, her light growing brighter, illuminating the darkness with an intensity that rivaled the sun itself. "Together we stand against this evil," Amaterasu cried, her voice a beacon of hope. The villagers, emboldened by her strength, gathered their crude weapon swords forged from iron, farming tools, and wooden staffs preparing to assist their goddess. As Dekokuden felt the surge of light around him, he roared in rage. "You dare invade my domain?" He lashed out, summoning shadows that coiled and snapped like vicious hounds seeking to devour the souls of the brave villagers. But they stood firm, united by honor and love for their land. As one, they launched their attacks with fervor, striking out the tendrils of darkness. Amaterasu, radiant and fierce, battled alongside them, her light illuminating their path. The clash between light and darkness echoed through the night, a symphony of courage against despair. Dekokuden, momentarily taken aback by the unexpected strength of the villagers, unleashed a wrathful roar. "You will pay for this insolence. I shall consume your light." In the midst of the chaos, Amaterasu felt the weight of responsibility bearing down upon her. The villagers fought valiantly, but they were mere mortals against a demon of ancient power. She needed to find a way to still him again, but the energy of the baleful shadows threatened to overwhelm her. Drawing upon the last vestiges of her strength, Amaterasu summoned a blinding light, a radiant sphere that pulsed with divine energy. "With this light, I will seal you, Dekokuden, and bring peace back to Yamato," she declared, her voice steady amidst the torrent of chaos. But the demon, sensing his imminent defeat, began to spiral into a rage-fueled frenzy. "You think you can imprison me once more? I will take you with me into the abyss." He unleashed a torrent of dark energy that surged toward the goddess, determined to snuff out her light. In that moment, as time slowed, Amaterasu realized that the battle was not just for the village but for the very essence of hope. With every ounce of strength, she forged the light into a spear, a weapon of divine will. "For the people of Kurosumi, for the spirit of Yamato, I will not falter." With a final shout of determination, she hurled the brilliant spear toward Dekokuden. The light pierced through the darkness, a radiant spear of destiny that found its mark. The demon's anguished cry reverberated through the air, the shadows around him fracturing under the weight of Amaterasu's light. As the blinding radiance enveloped him, Dekokuden thrashed in a last desperate attempt to cling to existence, but the divine power surged, consuming the darkness and sweeping the demon away. In a final shuddering gasp, he was drawn back into the depths of the earth, the seal reasserting itself as the light pulsed with energy. With a triumphant cry, Amaterasu lifted her arms to the heavens, the light skating around her as the villagers erupted in cheers. Their hope had been restored, their faith unwavering. Yet the victory was bittersweet, for the remnants of the battle left scars upon their hearts. As the first light of dawn broke over the horizon, painting the sky with hues of pink and gold, Amaterasu turned to her people. "I am but a guardian, and it is your strength that allowed us to prevail. Together, we will rebuild. Together, we shall ensure that darkness never returns." But as she spoke, a foreboding whisper danced on the wind, hinting at greater challenges yet to come. The echoes of Dekokuden's laughter lingered, a reminder that, as dawn's golden tendrils reached the village of Kurosumi, embracing the battered landscape with warmth, a flicker of hope ignited in the hearts of its people. Amaterasu had saved them from the clutches of the demon Dekokuden, but the lingering shadows of his wrath whispered ominously through the trees. Though the villagers rejoiced, they remained acutely aware that their victory was but a temporary reprieve. In the aftermath of the battle, the village was a mosaic of both beauty and ruin. Crumbled houses stood as solemn memorials, and the scent of singed earth wafted through the air like a dirge for the fallen. Elder Haru surveyed the destruction, his heart heavy with grief for those lost during the clash. He watched as villagers tended to the wounded and began to rebuild, their spirits undeterred. "Gather the people," Haru called, his voice steady despite the turmoil within. "Let us honor those who fought bravely and remember that we are stronger together." As whispers of his command spread, the villagers converged at the shrine, the air thick with emotion, sorrow, gratitude, and an unyielding resolve. Amaterasu, her light a beacon amidst the shadows, stood at the center, her divine presence radiating warmth. She gazed at her children, the souls she had fought for, feeling a deep connection that transcended the mortal realm. "Dear ones," she began, her voice a melodic cascade, "you have shown courage that rivals the greatest heroes of legend. Today, we honor the brave souls who stood against darkness. In their memory, we must pledge to protect one another, for the shadows may return." As the villagers knelt in reverence, a sudden gust swept through the shrine, carrying with it a chill that made the hair on their arms rise. Amaterasu frowned, sensing an undercurrent of darkness still lurking nearby. The echo of Dekokuden's laughter slithered through her mind. This is not over, she whispered to herself, determination hardening her resolve. Meanwhile, in the depths of the earth where Deikokyuden had been sealed, dark forces stirred. The demon's essence, though weakened, remained potent. As the remnants of his power coalesced, he let out a low, menacing chuckle. Foolish mortals, did you truly believe you could banish me? I will rise again and unleash a vengeance the likes of which this world has never seen. With a surge of malevolence, Deikokyuden tapped into the fear of the villagers, feeding off their lingering dread. His power grew, weaving threads of darkness that reached the shrine, threatening to corrupt the very essence of the land. The ground trembled, and an ominous dark fog began to seep into Kurzumi, swallowing the light and hope that had just begun to bloom. Back in the shrine, Amaterasu felt the shift in the air. No, not again, she gasped, her heart racing as she turned to Elder Haru. The seal is weakening, we must prepare ourselves. What can we do, goddess? Haru asked, determination gleaming in his eyes despite the fear constricting his chest. The villagers are still recovering, they cannot bear another battle. Amaterasu's gaze swept across the weary faces of the villagers. We may be small in number, but our spirits are strong. We must gather the essence of our ancestors, the strength of the earth, and the unity of our hearts. Together, we can forge a new seal, stronger than before. With her command, the villagers rallied, gathering relics of their ancestors' swords forged in ancient fires, talismans blessed by the spirits of their forebears, and offerings of rice and sake. They formed a circle around Amaterasu, their faith intertwining like roots of a mighty tree. Elder Haru led them in a chant, invoking the spirits that had once guided their ancestors. As their voices rose in unison, Amaterasu closed her eyes, drawing upon the light within her. She felt the energy of the villagers merging with her own, a powerful force coursing through the air. Together, they began to weave a spell, a brilliant tapestry of light that shimmered against the encroaching darkness. But Deikokyuden was not without his own cunning. He summoned the shadows that had crept into the village, twisting them into grotesque shapes, a legion of phantoms eager to extinguish the light. With an earth-shattering roar, he unleashed his minions upon Kurzumi, the air thick with their malevolent wails. As the shadows descended, Amaterasu opened her eyes, burning with divine fury. "Stand firm," she commanded, her voice echoing like thunder. "We shall not falter. Together, we are the light in this storm." The villagers, inspired by their goddess, braced themselves against the oncoming tide of darkness. Haru swung his staff, the ancient wood crackling with energy as he struck against the first wave of phantoms. "For Kurzumi, for the fallen," he shouted, igniting the courage of those around him. The battle erupted anew, a fierce clash between the remnants of Deikokyuden's darkness and the united front of the villagers. Amaterasu stood at the center, her radiance illuminating the chaos, guiding her people with every pulse of her divine energy. She hurled beams of golden light into the fray, dispersing the shadows that dared to touch her beloved children. But the phantoms were relentless, their numbers swelling as Deikokyuden fed off the fear and despair. They shrieked and howled, a cacophony that threatened to drown out the resolve of the villagers. With each blow they struck against the shadows, new ones emerged, fueled by the demon's insatiable hunger. "Amaterasu!" Haru called, desperation creeping into his voice as he battled fiercely against a phantom that sought to drag him into the void. "We need more power. The shadows will not relent." Feeling the weight of her people's plight, Amaterasu reached deep within herself, calling forth the very essence of the sun. She drew upon the strength of the earth, the whispers of the wind, and the unity of the villagers, forging a radiant spear of light unlike any they had seen before. "By the spirit of Yamato, I shall banish you, Deikokyuden," she proclaimed, her voice resonating like a celestial chorus. The spear crackled with energy, illuminating the battlefield in a blinding flash. With a gesture, she summoned the villagers to her side. "We must strike together." As they gathered around her, their hands linked, Amaterasu light enveloped them. "On the count of 3, we unleash our spirits." Haru called, determination igniting his heart. 1, 2, 3. With a collective shout, the villagers launched their weapons toward the heavens, channeling their energy into Amaterasu's spear. It soared through the air, a comet of hope and defiance aimed directly at Deikokyuden. The demon, realizing the threat, roared in fury, his shadow swelling around him like a tempest. "You think you can defeat me with mere hopes? I am the darkness that consumes worlds." But as Amaterasu's spear descended, the heavens split open, and the very fabric of the sky shimmered with divine energy. The light exploded upon the impact, a cataclysmic blast that illuminated the entire village, banishing the shadows that had ensnared Kurzumi. The phantoms screeched in agony, their forms dissipating like mist. Deikokyuden, feeling the strength of the light overwhelm him, howled in rage as he was pulled back toward the abyss. You will regret this day, mortals, I shall return. As the last remnants of darkness were consumed by the light, the villagers fell to their knees, panting and weary. The air was thick with the scent of burnt shadows, but the dawn had claimed its victory. Amaterasu stood amidst them, her radiant form shimmering with pride and love for her people. You fought with the courage of heroes, she declared, her voice a soothing balm against their fatigue. Your unity has sealed the darkness, but we must remain vigilant. It is our bonds that strengthen us in the face of despair. Haru rose to his feet, a weary smile gracing his lips. We will honor the fallen and keep our spirits strong. Thank you, Amaterasu, for guiding us. Yet, as the villagers began to celebrate their hard-won victory, the horizon shifted. Dark clouds gathered ominously, a reminder that their fight was far from over. Whispers of Daikokyuten echoed in the wind, a promise of resurgence that chilled their bones. Amaterasu, looking toward the horizon, felt the weight of destiny upon her. This is not the end, my beloved children, but through our trials, we have forged an unbreakable bond. Together, we shall stand against the darkness, for hope will always shine brighter than fear. With renewed determination, the villagers rallied around Amaterasu, their hearts ablaze with honor and defiance. The sun cast its golden rays upon Kurozumi, a symbol of the light they would carry into the battles yet to come. And so, in the land of Yamato, the legend of their fight against Daikokyuten would be etched into the stars, a testament to the power of unity and the relentless spirit of those who... In the days following the battle against Daikokyuten, the village of Kurozumi stood resilient yet wary. The sun continued to rise over the mountains, casting a golden hue over the landscape, but shadows still lingered in the hearts of its people. Amaterasu had restored their hope, but the echo of darkness danced at the edges of their minds, a haunting reminder of the demoness vowed to return. As the villagers tended to the remnants of their homes, Elder Haru gathered the remaining warriors, their faces etched with determination. We honor the fallen today, he announced, his voice steady yet filled with emotion. But we must also prepare for the darkness that looms. Daikokyuten will not rest until he has his revenge. Amaterasu, her presence an unwavering beacon, stood before them, her radiant light shimmering even in the dusk. Your strength is a shield against the dark, but we must seek allies beyond our borders, those who also know the depths of Daikokyuten's cruelty. Where shall we find such allies? The young warrior named Kenji asked, his face taut with concern. The world beyond Kurozumi is vast and perilous. The gods are not blind to our plight, Amaterasu replied, her golden eyes shimmering with purpose. I will journey to the celestial realms and seek the aid of my brother Tsukayomi. He guards the night and may hold secrets to counter the darkness. The villagers exchanged glances, knowing the dangers of seeking the gods. Tsukayomi was known to be elusive, a deity who threatened shadow and silence. But goddess, will you be safe? An elder woman named Deko questioned, her voice trembling. Amaterasu smiled gently, enveloping the villagers in her warmth. Even in darkness, I am the light. I will return with the knowledge we need. As the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of violet and indigo, Amaterasu ascended into the heavens, her luminous form piercing the twilight. The villagers watched, their hearts full of hope and trepidation. They could do little but wait and prepare for the trials that lay ahead. Asterisk. In the celestial realm, the air shimmered like a tapestry woven with stars. Amaterasu approached the ethereal palace of Tsukayomi, its shimmering walls reflecting moonlight in a soft glow. As she entered, she was greeted by the haunting beauty of his domain, where twilight danced endlessly and shadows remained woven into the fabric of reality. Amaterasu, Tsukayomi's voice echoed as he emerged from the shadows, his form cloaked in silver and midnight blue. Your presence here disrupts the balance of night. Sister of the sun, you tread a dangerous path, he continued, his gaze piercing yet filled with concern. Why do you seek me? The Daikokyuten has risen once more, Amaterasu answered, clenching her fists as the memory of the battle surged within her. He threatens Kurozumi and all of Yamato. I seek your wisdom to help assail him for good. Tsukayomi's expression grew grave. The darkness you face is deeper than you realize. Daikokyuten's essence is tethered to the fears of mortals. To challenge him, you must confront not just the demon himself, but the fear he sows. I will not allow fear to consume my people, Amaterasu declared, her spirit unyielding. What must I do? Seek out the spirits of the ancients, the guardians of the earth and sky. They possess the knowledge of old, of the rituals that combine Daikokyuten's darkness. Tsukayomi instructed, his voice a whisper against the rustling winds. But beware, for the journey to awaken them will test your resolve. With a determined nod, Amaterasu turned to leave. I will not falter. I shall find these guardians and bring their strength to our people. As she descended back to Kurosumi, a chill swept through the celestial realm. Tsukuyomi watched her go, a shadow flickering across his visage. Be wary, sister, for the darkness has eyes even in the light. Asterisk. Back on the earth, Amaterasu gathered the villagers and recounted her encounter with Tsukuyomi. To truly vanquish Daikokyuden, we must awaken the guardians of the ancients. They dwell in the sacred groves of Tsurugi Mountain, where the essence of the world converges. Azaharu's brow furrowed with concern. The journey is perilous, Amaterasu. Many have ventured into the mountains and never returned. Then we shall go together, Kenji declared, his voice unwavering. We are not alone. Together we are strong, the villagers affirmed, their spirits rekindled by each other's courage. As dawn broke over Kurosumi, the villagers prepared for their journey, packing essentials and offering prayers to the gods. With Amaterasu leading them, they set forth towards Tsurugi Mountain, a journey that would test their resolve and unity. The wilderness whispered around them, the trees swaying gently, as if aware of the sacred mission at hand. As they climbed higher, the air grew thin, and the path twisted with treacherous turns. Shadows danced at the edges of their vision, and every rustle sent a shiver down their spines. Stay close, Amaterasu urged, her voice soothing yet commanding. Remember, darkness feeds on fear. We are the light that will banish it. As they ascended, the ground trembled beneath them, and a sense of foreboding filled the air. Suddenly, a deep, guttural roar echoed through the mountains, and from the shadows emerged a monstrous creature, a serpent of obsidian, its eyes burning with malice. Foolish mortals, it hissed, its voice like gravel against stone. You dare seek the guardians, you will perish in their name. With a flick of its tail, the serpent unleashed a wave of darkness, tendrils reaching toward the villages. Amaterasu raised her hands, summoning a barrier of light that glimmered against the encroaching shadows. Stand firm, she commanded, her voice resonating with divine authority. The villagers rallied behind her, their hearts pounding in unison. Haru swung his staff, channeling the energy of the earth, while Kenji held stones imbued with praise toward the serpent. For our goddess, for Kurosumi, they shouted, their voices rising like a chorus of defiance. The serpent writhed, its form shifting and flickering like smoke. You cannot defeat me. I have tasted the despair of countless souls. But Amaterasu remained resolute, her light piercing through the darkness. You feed on fear, but we are united by hope. We cannot be extinguished. With a flourish, she unleashed beams of light that cascaded through the air, each strike illuminating the darkness that threatened to consume them. As the serpent recoiled, the villagers pressed forward, bolstered by Amaterasu's radiance. Together, they launched an attack, striking at the creature with all their might. The battle raged under the shadow of Tsurugi Mountain, a clash of light and darkness, hope and despair. With a final surge of energy, Amaterasu channeled the spirit of the sun, her form blazing like a supernova. You shall know the strength of our unity, she proclaimed, hurling a concentrated spear of light toward the serpent. The blast erupted in a brilliant explosion, swallowing the creature in a vortex of radiance. With a deafening roar, the serpent was consumed, its essence dissipating into the air like ashes in the wind. Panting and weary, the villagers stood side by side, their hearts racing. We did it! Kenji exclaimed, awe and disbelief dancing in his eyes. But Amaterasu's gaze turned toward the horizon, where dark clouds began to swirl ominously. This battle may be won, but the war is far from over, she warned, sensing Daikokyuden's lingering presence. As they reached the summit of Tsurugi Mountain, a radiant shrine appeared before them, adorned with intricate carvings that depicted the guardians of old. The air shimmered with ancient energy, and as Amaterasu stepped inside, the guardians materialized spirits of the earth and sky, their forms ethereal and majestic. Goddess Amaterasu, they intoned, their voices echoing like a gentle breeze. You seek our strength against Daikokyuden, but know this, to awaken our power, you must prove your worth through trials of spirit. Amaterasu nodded, her spirit unwavering. We will face whatever challenges lie ahead. Our people depend on it. The guardians exchanged glances, their eyes shining with ancient wisdom. Very well, the trials will test not just your strength, but the bonds that unite your people. Only through unity can you awaken our power. The first trial commenced a test of courage. The villagers were led to a dark cave, where shadows twisted, whispering doubts and fears. Each villager faced their deepest insecurities, wading through memories that sought to unearth their despair. Do not succumb, Amaterasu urged, her voice a beacon within the darkness. You are more than your fears. One by one, the villagers confronted their shadows. Iko faced the haunting memory of loss, her heart heavy with grief, but she... Part 4, the trials of Tsurugi Mountain. As Amaterasu stood at the entrance of the dark cave, the air thick with an ancient chill, the villagers gathered behind her, their faces illuminated by the soft glow of her divine light. Each heart thudded in unison, a rhythmic testament to their resolve, but uncertainty flickered in their eyes. The time had come to confront not just the darkness that threatened their world, but the darkness that lurked within their own hearts. "Remember," Amaterasu urged, her voice steady and soothing, "this trial is as much a part of our journey as the battles we have fought. Confront your fears, and let them guide you toward the light." One by one, the villagers stepped forward, their spirits bolstered by the goddess's unwavering presence. Eldaharu was the first to enter the cavern, his grip on his staff tightening. Shadows called around him like living things, whispering secrets of despair that sought to ensnare his heart. Memories of loss surged forth, visions of friends and family swallowed by darkness in past battles. "Thou?" Haru yelled defiantly, shaking his head as the shadows wrapped tighter. "I am not afraid of the past. I have seen the darkness, and I have survived it." With each declaration, he tapped into the strength of the villagers who rallied behind him, and the shadows began to dissipate, retreating from the light of his courage. Encouraged by Haru's triumph, Kenji, a young warrior with fire in his heart, stepped into the cave next. Yet as he moved deeper into the darkness, the air thickened, and he found himself ensnared in a realm of doubt. In the shadows, he saw visions of himself falling short, of failing to protect his family, of being unable to rise to the challenges before him. "Is this what you want?" The shadows hissed, their pale hands reaching for him. "You are weak. You will never be a hero." "Thou?" Kenji shouted, his voice echoing through the cave. "I am strong. I fight for my village, for Amaterasu, and for those I love." With every ounce of conviction, he drew upon the memories of those who had stood beside him, and his heart swelled with their courage. Light burst forth from within him, illuminating the cavern and vanquishing the shadows that sought to engulf him. The villagers cheered outside, their spirits lifted by Kenji's victory. Next, Eiko, an elder woman, stepped into the darkness, her heart heavy with the weight of her past. The shadows morphed into haunting memories, faces of loved ones lost to the darkness and battles she had fought but could not win. "Why did you let me live?" they whispered cruelly. "You failed them." But Eiko stood firm. "I may have lost those I loved, but I carry their spirits with me. They are part of my strength, and I will not allow their memories to turn to despair." As she spoke, the shadows flickered. With each word, the memories transformed from burdens to bear into fires of resolve. Light poured from her heart, showering the cave in a warm glow that sent the darkness fleeing. One after another, the villagers faced their fears, each triumph igniting a flicker of light that chased the shadows deeper into the recesses of the cave. They emerged, gasping for breath but victorious. Each heart now bore the imprint of their trial, scarred yet stronger, united by the knowledge that they could confront their deepest insecurities together. Finally, it was Amaterasu's turn. As the last villager stepped out of the darkness, she entered the cave, her divine light flickering against the encroaching shadows. But these shadows were different. They whispered to her in the voice of Daikokyuden, echoing his cruel laughter, mocking her resolve. "You have brought your children to their demise," the darkness hissed, swirling around her like a tempest. "You are their light, yet you failed to protect them. What good is your power if it falters before true darkness?" Amaterasu felt the stain of doubt creep into her heart, memories of failure flashing before her eyes, moments when she could not protect those she loved, when darkness had threatened to consume the innocent. I failed them," she murmured, her voice faltering. But then she remembered the villagers' courage, the fierce light that filled their hearts even in the face of despair. "No," she cried, her voice a thunderous roar against the shadows. "I am the sun their hope resides in me, and I will not let darkness extinguish it." She raised her hands, summoning the full force of her divine energy. A radiant light erupted from her core, flooding the cave and banishing the shadows. The whispers faded into silence, and the darkness retreated, unable to withstand her unwavering spirit. Emerging from the cave, Amaterasu stood before her villagers, who gazed upon her with admiration and reverence. "Together, we have faced our fears and emerged stronger. The Guardians will heed our call, for we are united in spirit." As their victory echoed across Tsurugi Mountain, the air shimmered, and the Guardians of the Ancients materialized before them. Ethereal beings of light and shadow, they radiated wisdom and strength. "Brave souls of Kurozumi," spoke one guardian, a figure entwined with the essence of the earth, her voice resonating like the gentle patter of rain. "You have faced the trials with courage, you possess the heart of warriors, and we shall lend you our strength against Daikokyuden." The guardians extended their hands, and a warm energy enveloped the villagers. Ancient knowledge filled their minds, rituals and chants that would empower Amaterasu and fortify the bond between their people and the earth. Now, you must gather sacred relics from the heart of this mountain, the guardian continued. These relics, infused with the essence of our spirits, will provide protection against the darkness that lurks. Amaterasu nodded, her heart swelling with gratitude. We will honor this task, and with your strength, we shall seal Daikokuten for good. As they journeyed deeper into the mountain, the landscape shifted, revealing a hidden grove bathed in silvery light. Ancient trees tower, their roots intertwining with the very fabric of the earth. In the center, a glowing stone pulsed in rhythm with the heartbeat of the mountain. Here lies the heartstone of Tsurugi, a guardian declared. It holds the essence of life. To awaken its power, you must work as a united force. The villagers gathered around the heartstone, their hands joined, channeling their energy into the sacred relic. Amaterasu raised her voice, leading them in a chant that echoed through the grove, intertwining with the whispers of the guardians. Suddenly, the ground shook, and a thunderous roar erupted from the depths of the mountain. Daikokuten, seeking vengeance, had sensed the gathering and surged forth from the abyss, a towering figure of darkness, his eyes aflame with fury. You think you can seal me again? He bellowed, darkness billowing around him like a storm. I will tear your hopes apart. With a surge of malevolence, he unleashed a torrent of shadows that swept toward the villagers, seeking to consume them in despair. But Amaterasu stood firm, her presence a radiant barrier against the encroaching darkness. We are the light, we will not be extinguished. As the villagers pressed their hands against the heartstone, they felt a surge of energy flow through them. Together, they shouted, determination uniting their voices in a powerful chorus. With each chant, the heartstone pulsed, and beams of light erupted from it, striking Daikokuten. The demon howled in agony, his form flickering as the light pierced through the darkness he had woven around himself. But Daikokuten remained relentless, thrashing against the light, summoning shadows to shield himself. You are but mortals, you cannot defeat the darkness that dwells within you. Amaterasu, feeling the heartbeat of her people, summoned the strength they had forged through their trials. We are not just mortals, we are the embodiment of unity, hope, and unyielding spirit. With a final cry, they unleashed the combined power of their hearts and the heartstone, a blinding spear of light that surged toward Daikokuten. The demon roared, his shadows unable to withstand the brilliance. As the light encompassed him, Daikokuten let out a final anguished cry before being consumed by the radiance, pulled back into the abyss from which he came. The shadows dissipated into the ether, banished once and for all. Breathless and weary, the villagers fell to their knees, the weight of victory and relief crashing over them. Amaterasu stood at their center, her heart swelling with pride. You have proven yourselves, my children. Together, we have triumphed over darkness. As the first rays of dawn painted the horizon with hues of gold and crimson, the village of Kurajumi rejoiced. Their hearts beating as one, they had faced their fears, awakened the guardians, and sealed Daikokuten away. But deep within the earth, darkness remained a shadow of the demon essence, vowing to rise again, waiting for the moment when the light would flicker.